I'm Kevin Latinity, CEO of Borderless.xyz. You're watching Taking Stock.
Two minutes to go into the close, and this is a big one, folks, on this Friday here on Wall Street, because not only is the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index and the small caps reaching fresh all-time highs, but the one and only New York Knicks are down here at the big board, set to do the honors for the closing bell today. Real estate, industrials, and technology, those are your strongest performing sectors in the S&P 500, though we are seeing losses to the downside on this Friday, led by telecom, healthcare, and materials. We are expecting record closes for the NYA as well as the Russell. Slight fractional profit taking, though, for the Dow 30 components as well as for the S&P 500. Welcome to the show, a very special edition of Taking Stock. I'm your host, JD Durkin. Mere moments away, my friends, from the ringing of the iconic closing bell here at the big board. Volatility down on the day. The Magnificent Seven tech stocks kind of in mixed territory. Strong session for Microsoft, up 1%, with Alphabet leading losses down 1%. The 10-year Treasury yield reaching its highest level back to September 4th after a very busy week of news for the central bank. The great Phil Rosen's on deck. He'll join us right after the bell for his take on today's price action, the Fed, and we'll talk a little New York Knicks basketball as well. Gold and silver both down here on the session. The oil benchmarks, WTI and Brent, are both up. And with that, the crowd is hyped up. We are hyped up. The New York Knicks here at the big board set to do the honors. Time now for the closing bell. And there you have it, folks, with the three gavels. Oh, let's listen to that. The crowd is fired up to bring about it close to the markets. This is true. I wore number 20 in CYO basketball because of that man right there, Allen Houston, and here he is showing up to where I work. Your final tail of the tape on this Friday, January 16th. The S&P 500 down 0.06%. The Dow 30 components down 0.1. The New York Stock Exchange Composite Index down 1/100, just fractionally in negative territory, but the small caps enjoying yet again another all-time high. Your best performing Dow names today, IBM, as well as Honeywell. We do have losses to the downside from Salesforce, UNH, and 3M. Let's bring in the man himself, Phil Rosen, for what I believe is the first time here in 2026.
Yes, first time of the year. Good to be back.
Dude, we brought you the New York Knicks because it's such a special occasion. Thanks for being here as always.
Thank you for having me.
We're not very far off all-time highs, kind of a choppy, volatile week. Lots of Fed news, maybe moving bond instruments. You got a lot to choose from. What is top of mind for a wild week on Wall Street?
The thing I was watching this week were the chip stocks. TSM had a great result in their earnings, and I think the whole chip sector took note. They all rallied, and we had a Taiwan-U.S. trade deal, and that's also very bullish for chips, in my opinion. I think it's going to be fantastic for AI continuing to this year, and the chip stocks in particular. Micron's up like 300% from a year ago. I think that's going to continue. This is a very big year ahead.
What do you see in the world of geopolitics? Could be military intervention in Venezuela, kind of conflicts in the Middle East with U.S. and Iran. You got the Greenland question now, and maybe strife between the United States and NATO. There's a lot for investors to keep up with these days.
This is a crazy start to the year geopolitically, and yet markets are up. Markets do not care that the geopolitical world is going haywire. Greenland, Iran, Venezuela, these are all major catalysts, but right now investors have pretty much shrugged it off. We're pushing stocks higher, asset prices keep going up, and I think there are a couple ways to look at it. You could say markets are ignoring it all and they just don't care, or you could take another tact, which is markets see it all and they actually do care, but the earnings story is so good that they're just paying attention to earnings instead, and that's going to keep asset prices higher.
Talk to me about the disconnect between hiring and the economy. Jobs data, we did get a fair bit of it, and it's one of those key pieces of information we're going to pay a lot of attention to in the weeks and months ahead.
The job story is incredible to me because jobs are slowing down. I think 2025 was one of the worst hiring years we've had in a non-recession year in decades. Okay, so That was the picture, and yet we had very strong economic growth. You could arguably say we're in an economic boom. I think Atlanta Fed sees 5% GDP for the last quarter of the year. And all that, and yet people can't find jobs. There's this K-shaped economy we keep talking about where it's just hard to keep a job, find a job, and that makes a lot of people nervous. And yet the economic productivity is increasing. I think productivity was up 5% last quarter as well. So that's a huge tension that I'm going to be watching for the coming months, because we have almost like a jobless growth happening, which is very unusual. I think AI is a part of that. We'll see just how much it matters.
You talked about the semis. How durable, how strong is the overall AI trade right now? We had a lot of questions throughout the fourth quarter about the fourth quarter of 2025, how strong the AI trade was. And we kind of go day by day. Some days the concerned narrative takes over, and other days we say, hey, everything's going great.
All the smartest people I'm talking to, from these Wall Street banks, these boutique investment shops, independent investors, everyone is very bullish on AI. I think I fall into that camp. I'm very optimistic. I don't think we're in a bubble. We're not going to see a bubble popping anytime soon. But the one red flag I feel in my bones, if everyone is on the right side of the trade or on the same side of the trade, something's got to give at some point. So that's what I'll be watching.
Yeah, what do they say? Be fearful when others are bullish. Be optimistic when others are fearful, etc. It's an old Warren Buffettism. Before I let you go, Bitcoin as the catch-up trade. I mean, it was a wild story for the crypto majors in 25. How is the stage set for 2026 right now?
Bitcoin was down about 5 to 7% in 2025. I think it disappointed a lot of people. But if you zoom out, it was the third negative year in a decade. That's pretty good as far as asset prices go. And if you go back, instead of 12 months, you go to 14 months, Bitcoin's actually up about 40%. So it's an incredible performing asset still, but the psychological effect of having a negative calendar year, I think there's going to be a big catch up in 2026. Who knows whether that's 20%, 30%, 50%. I'm not going to call that, but I do think we're seeing gains in Bitcoin this year.
All right, the great Phil Rosen. Hey, you got the great Amari Stoudemire right over your shoulder here, dude. Thanks for being here. Great to have you as always. We'll have you back very soon. Josh will grab your mic. Todd, you and I are going to do our best to walk through the crowd this way. We'll now bring you the latest Poly Market event. This is just a nutty day down here. All right, we'll bring you the latest Poly Market event contract odds as participants trying to figure out who will be the nominee from President Trump for the Fed. Odds shot up today for Kevin Warsh from 40% to 60%, and that's because President Trump at the White House today seemed to indicate he likes Kevin Hassett exactly where he is. The president telling reporters, quote, "We don't want to lose him." Maybe a bit of a joke, but Poly Market participants taking it seriously. Hassett falling down to 15%, Christopher Waller at 14%. The other contenders down in single digits. They're considered long shot contenders. Almost $200 million in total trade volume on this particular event contract. It's one of the largest I've seen on Poly Market in quite some time. We'll likely get that announcement from the president any day, any week, at some point soon. All right, we'll take a look at two NYSE notables before we go to break. How about GE Vernova, a new plan from the Trump White House and several Northeast governors to fast track the construction of new power plants specifically for AI data centers. You got tech giants under the plan like Microsoft and Alphabet. They would foot the bill, but analysts are saying, hey, out of all of the power brokers here in this particular story, it's GE Vernova that is the clearest winner, because this shifts the focus to the massive expansion of new energy versus existing power already on the grid. GE Vernova having a killer day, up 6%. It's up about 3% already in 2026. Finally, how about Novo Nordisk here on the day, up 9%. This after early data showed a pretty encouraging start to the launch of its Wegovy GLP-1 pill here in the U.S. Analysts from TD Cowen calling it a solid start, but those analysts did caution one data point does not make a trend. Up 9% here on the day and up more than 20% already here in 2026. We got an amazing show on tap. We'll be speaking with one New York Knicks legend coming up in just a bit. But first, now we bring you the latest from Scarlett Sieber at Money 2020. Take a look.
Hello, I'm Scarlett Sieber from Money 2020, and welcome to Who in the F Knows 2026 Predictions. It's January, aka prediction season up in here. Here's the deal. I'll break down one bold forecast from our Money 2020 content team and give you my verdict. Bank on it or bounce it. Because in fintech, you can stack your chips, but let's be real, who in the F really knows? Let's cash in. Today's prediction comes from Ian Fong, our VP of Content in Asia. In 2026, Islamic finance becomes the ESG North Star. Translation, ESG isn't just going green anymore, ENT is a pivot towards social responsibility and honest governance, and Islamic finance, with its fairness first DNA, is leading the charge. Why I'm leaning towards bank on it. Ethics pay dividends. Islamic finance is built on transparency and real value creation. Exactly what ESG needs to stop being a box-ticking exercise, and we are so tired of those. The numbers don't lie, people. The ball don't lie. Global Islamic finance assets hit 4.9 trillion in 2023, and they're projected to top 5.7 trillion by 2028. That's not pocket change. That's serious capital in motion. Asia's ESG game is quite strong. Sustainable bond issuance in Asia Pacific surged around 40% year over year in 2023. Investors are hungry for integrity-driven finance. But here's why I still might bounce it. Scaling isn't cheap. ESG standards are fragmented, and aligning Sharia compliance principles with global frameworks, that ain't easy either. It's a heavy lift. Data is messy. ESG ratings are inconsistent, making it hard for investors to know what they're really buying. Speed matters here. Can Islamic finance scale fast enough to lead the ESG charge? Or will it stay a niche play while the market moves on? My verdict? I'm going to call this one bank on it, with a side of caution. The fundamentals are strong, but execution will decide if the prediction makes it rain or leaves us overdrafted. What do you think? Is this the next big payday for finance, or should we bounce this check? Drop your thoughts and check out the rest of Who in the F Knows 2026 predictions at money2020.com, because in fintech, the only sure bet is that nothing's guaranteed.
Welcome back to the show. Time now for the latest headlines you need to know on this Friday in the world of fintech, crypto, and artificial intelligence. The crypto majors trading in mixed territory at this hour. Bitcoin trading down fractionally, ETH down 0.6%, but Solana having a strong performance, up about 1.9% at this hour. Next up, President Trump backing a plan that would force big tech, that includes Amazon, Google, as well as Microsoft, to fund new power plants as data center and AI drive surging electricity demand, kind of that GE Vernova story we talked about a moment ago. And finally, Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon says the bank is actively exploring tokenization, stable coins, even prediction markets, while watching how U.S. regulation evolves before making big moves. Our second guest of the show joins us now via Zoom. This is Derek Azul. He is the Chief Investment Officer at Shelton Capital Management. Derek, great to have you on the show. We're going to start first and foremost by talking about the Stringer acquisition. What is it? What do we need to know?
Sure. So Stringer Asset Management is a firm that we just recently acquired. It's going to bring our assets up to about $7 billion. They are deeply steeped in ETF-based asset allocation products and have a long history of generating superior risk-adjusted returns. We're happy to have them on board. They're going to fit well with our culture, and they should benefit well from our infrastructure and our scale.
Derek, talk to me about what goes in, the considerations to making a relationship like that work. How did all this come together?
Sure. So, it's a combination of what are our clients looking for? How can we be helpful in working with our clients, the registered investment advisors and individual investors who are looking for solutions from Shelton Capital, and what do they need, and how can we be a partner for them? And Stringer brings a unique strategy, one that Shelton did not have, that is really becoming greatly in demand and really helping advisors and investors navigate these markets during some volatile times.
Derek, talk to me about the new SEPI ETF. What's it all about, and what are some of the top names by holdings in that particular product?
Sure. So SEPI is an equity income ETF. It is based on the same strategy of our 5-star Morningstar rated equity income mutual fund. And this is a portfolio that focuses on high quality, high cash flow stocks, high dividend stocks, and then overwrites them with covered calls to generate income. So it becomes a balanced portfolio that helps get some exposure to equities, but at the same time manage risk and harvest volatility for investors.
Derek, what are some of the ways that you're seeing investors balance income and risk right now? And talk to me a bit about what those considerations are looking like on the backdrop of today's markets.
Sure. So one thing we've seen in the last couple of years here, as inflation has been higher, interest rates have been higher, is that we've also seen volatility be higher. And one of the ways this manifests itself is that stocks and bonds don't necessarily diversify each other the way they used to in decades past. And so having a product like SEPI in the portfolio uses volatility as another asset class, and as that way can generate income, returns, and diversification for clients that are trying to build a well-diversified portfolio.
Derek, before I let you go, one thing you want investors to better understand about Shelton and how you're positioned in these markets.
Sure. So we provide a broad range of investment solutions that we believe add value for investors, that provide exposure to different parts of the market that are not easily acquired through an index fund or some of your most well-known mutual funds. We believe that we stand by our investors in trying to deliver what they need and to help them find solutions within the investment marketplace.
Derek Azul, Chief Investment Officer at Shelton Capital Management. Congratulations on the recent acquisition. Thanks a lot for taking the time to join us. Folks, don't go away. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, a one-on-one interview with a legend. There we go, from the New York Knicks. Much more Taking Stock after this. Let's do it. Welcome back to the show. You are watching Taking Stock here on the trading floor of the iconic New York Stock Exchange. What more do I need to say? The great John Starks, New York Knicks legend here in the house, making his Taking Stock debut, but not the first time he's been down here to the big board. Welcome back to the New York Stock Exchange.
Nice to be back here. Always fun to come back here and ring the bell, and so just truly enjoy it.
Can you tell me about the experience over the many years you've been kind of directly with the Knicks organization or as an alum? You've made several trips down here.
Yeah, I have made several trips down here. I can remember coming down here way back then, and where we didn't have all the computers, where we actually had a lot of people down, almost like trading places. Mm-hmm. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of energy during that time.
As you think back to your career going from undrafted to the iconic status that you have as one of the most beloved New York Knicks alums, What most stands out to you, especially for a weekend like this, for homecoming, with so many guys you played with?
No, it's just amazing just to have all the alums back. We got about 50 alumni coming back in, celebrate 80 years of Knicks history. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a clinic, I think, tomorrow coming up, so we get a chance to go down to Basketball City, hang out with some of the kids. And so it's always fun to get these guys back together and just share war stories. And that's always a lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
This is the second annual homecoming weekend. Talk to me, John, a bit more about what fans can expect from either the Alumni Fest side of things or anything else if they're in and around the Garden here in New York this weekend.
Yeah, the basketball fest, the fan fest, I should say, is going to be a lot of fun at Basketball City. So I will, if you're a big fan of the Knicks, please come out and enjoy the fan fest. It's always a blast. Like I said, you're going to see myself and a lot of alumni is down there, so it should be a lot of fun. Then we have the big game, obviously, that evening, and that's always, rocking in the Garden during that time.
It's amazing to me, John. I think back out of any professional sports team of any sport, there is no team quite like the Knicks that draws back former players, game in and game out. I was just at the Clippers game last week. We're looking around, we're like, all right, where's Stephon Marbury? We know he's here. There's Spike Lee, there's Timothy Chalamet, and then you go through and you start, what is it about this team that for all of you, who I got to imagine, we're so proud to play for that team, play at the Garden. You're still there every game.
Yes, it's special. It's just a special place. It's just a special arena to be in. Once a Knick, always a Knick. So guys enjoy coming back and truly enjoy the game. You look at the celebrities down there. I always tell people you can go out to the other places, but when you get the celebrities here, they truly Knicks fans. They just fans of the game, and they come out and they cheer. They cheer very loud for us, and so I think the players truly appreciate us as former players coming back and supporting them. And as you know, the Garden is electric every single night when the Knicks take the floor. So it's just a lot of fun just being there.
When you think back to your career, this might be an impossible question. Do you have a favorite moment from being a New York Knick?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite moments, but one, obviously, when we beat the Indiana Pacers in Game 7 in 1994 to cross that threshold to play for a championship. That's always a special moment for me and my teammates.
Absolutely. I know a lot of fans. I told a lot of my buddies from college, we're all Villanova guys, so we're like Villanova and New York Knicks fans, especially for this current team. And all my boys back there like, that left-handed dunk against Chicago. Game 2 of that conference finals game.
Yeah, that was special. That was a special moment because I was an unknown player at that time. Yeah, I wouldn't say unknown, but really trying to get my name out there. And when you do something like that against the team that's been in our way for so long, the Chicago Bulls, and who it was on, that was made it memorable. And Horace Grant and Michael Jordan got in the picture and made it. Michael, I always describe it like this. I dunked on Horace Grant, but Michael got in the picture and made it look good. So,
he certainly did. Walt Frazier said for many years that was probably the loudest he had ever heard the Garden. Was that left-handed dunk there in Game 2.
And probably Larry's 4-point play.
Oh, yeah.
To send us to the championship in 99, I believe. Yeah, that year in 99.
Before I let you go, talk to me about the latest with the John Starks Foundation, top priorities for the year, and what more you would want people to know about the amazing work off the court you continue to do.
We're excited about the foundation, and we've been in existence since 1994 to really give kids the opportunity to go to school, graduating seniors in the tri-state area as well as back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's been a blessing for me to be able to do this, use my platform to help these young folks get off to school and realize their dreams, just like I did mine. And so we're excited about it. We do our annual cigar and casino night in June, as well as our blowout golf tournament in September. So we truly excited. And so if you want to get involved in the foundation, go to johnstarksfoundation.com.
The great John Starks, the second annual homecoming weekend and alumni fest, and overall fan fest this weekend at the world's most famous arena, one of the greatest New York Knicks of all time. Thank you for being here. What a pleasure to have you.
All right, thank you for having me.
Come back anytime. Don't go away. Much more Taking Stock from the big board coming up after this.
Fresh off the line is the all-new Afeela One from Sony Honda Mobility. Sony and Honda have joined forces to create what they call a creative entertainment space on 4 wheels. This isn't just an electric vehicle. It's a rolling concert hall, gaming lounge, and AI-powered assistant, all wrapped in a sleek design.
This is the Afeela One. This is our first model, and it comes in 2 trims, the Signature and the Origin. We just started taking reservations last year for delivery later this year out of our plant in Ohio.
The goal, Sony Honda says, is to completely redefine the relationship between people and mobility. And that starts with 40 sensors packed into every inch of this car, including LiDAR, 18 cameras, 12 ultrasonics, and 9 radar units, all powered by high-performance AI chip maker Qualcomm.
This actually allows the car to perform at a L2 plus ADAS, which is essentially self-driving, relieving you, the driver, of the burden. And so with one touch, you can have an end-to-end journey, and we call this Afeela Intelligent Drive.
But it's what happens inside the cabin that truly sets the Afeela apart. This car doesn't just drive you, it gets to know you. Meet the Afeela Personal Agent, powered by Microsoft's Azure OpenAI.
This is designed to be not just a one-way assistant that you tell what to do. It also interacts with you. It learns your customs and preferences. It can see you in the cameras in the car.
Hey David, nice dark jacket looks sharp for a morning in Vegas. And I see you've got some company snapping pics. Are you ready to dive into the Afeela experience or just enjoying the vibe for now?
We're enjoying the vibe, but I'm also kind of hungry. Are there any good burger joints around here?
Here are 3 hamburger restaurants near you.
The AI noticed the driver, complimented his outfit, and responded conversationally to a casual request, all without saying, "Hey Siri" or "Okay Google."
So let's say you're watching a movie in the car with your passenger while you're charging the vehicle. You can have it center screen. It can also be synced to the screens in the back. You can move it over here to the side if you need to, say, look at your navigation here. But then when you're driving, a privacy filter will engage so that the driver cannot see what's over here, keeping them from distractions and keeping you safe on the road. The analog mirrors are there because of legal reasons, but the cameras allow you to have a wider range of view.
And for gamers, the Afeela comes with PlayStation Remote Play built right into the rear entertainment screens.
So if you have a PlayStation 5 or 4 at home that's connected to the internet, you can play your games inside your Afeela.
Then there's the sound system. 28 speakers positioned throughout the vehicle, including subs under the console and speakers in the headrests.
Most car manufacturers build the car and then put in the speakers. In this, it was reversed. They designed the speaker system with the subs in the middle so that the bass is centered. That way you get a more robust, resilient, and entertaining audio experience.
This high-tech electric sedan is also capable of a top speed of 146 miles per hour, with an estimated EPA range of up to 300 miles. The future of mobility isn't simply about getting from point A to point B anymore. Car makers are now focused on scaling autonomous, intelligent, and conversational technology. Are you ready for the ride? For Cheddar, I'm Chris Castellino.
We got Suns Knicks tomorrow night at the Garden, 7:30. On Monday, we will be off for the MLK holiday. Lots of Fed speak and lots of earnings on tap next week, including 3M, Netflix, J&J, and United. That's going to do it for today's edition of Taking Stock. Have a terrific weekend. Go Knicks, and we will see you on Monday.